Sorry about all the technical difficulties. Hey there, and welcome back to Lazy Sunday Gaming. Tonight we're going to get ready and keep painting our butcher claws. So thanks for joining me at my desk. Let's get to work. Okay, let's get it in. Something's not right here. All right. Why don't we have that signal? All right. Hold on. There it is. Hopefully you guys saw my beautiful face. In case you didn't catch me before, here I am again. Let's get back to the desk. Weird. Alright. So thanks for tuning in. It's a beautiful day to paint something Christmas related. Just a little bit past Christmas. I know the family kind of understands that. It's a little tough to get things done during the holiday. We had big plans to paint this model all Christmas long, but here we are. This is our butcher claws. Where we last left off last time we recorded, we painted the majority of him, majority of his cloak, starting off with the color brown and working our way from there. Started with a deep, this is an absolute mess. Alright, so we're going to throw out this wet palette and we're going to start over. So again, still relearning how to talk on camera after not doing it for a month. Last couple days ago, last cast we did, we started off painting the cloak. We're going to try to finish the cloak tonight. That's going to be our work for the night. Started off with a mahogany brown from Pro Acryl. Worked our way up from mahogany to a purple color. There it is there. Lethal Shadows. Violet, it's because in the shadows of the color red, they kind of tend to go purple. And it adds a good depth of color instead of just going to like black. So we're adding a whole bunch of depth here. Let me just reset this palette a little bit. Thought we were ready. Get it nice and wet. Let the sponge do the work. Weird. Yeah, it's a nice wet palette there. So we finished off with purple. Let's see, where do we go next from here? I think we're going to put purple on our palette. So I've got it there to work with if I need it. And work our way up to a nice red. But what red do we want? What's the correct red? Are we at burnt red? Is that brighter? Or are we at like our little mid-tone red? Which one are we going to get to? So this is burnt red. It's Pro Acryl. honestly, some of these paints I haven't really seen on the palette, so let's see what they look like. This is going to be our Pro Acro Red, which I'm assuming is going to be like our nice mid-tone basic color. That's the plan, at least. But it does look like it's a little pink. It should just be base color red. It makes you wonder, what color is Santa's cloak? See, that's almost like stop sign red. That might be too much. Maybe that'll be like the red we use for his Kador red. Oof. Oof. That's way too bright. Maybe we make that into a highlight. Lastly, we're going to take a look at Lethal Shadows' Carmine Red, see what that looks like. Not great, not great, not working. Where's my pokey tool? It's also wildly red, so feels like at the end of today's work, this here is probably going to end up being closer to our mid-tone. Maybe this will be like our highlight. Those are basically the same red. I think the Pro Acro one looks a little more orange. I think like a Santa's cloak can't be that red. That seems insane. Okay, well, I feel like the purple did the work of the burnt umber, so maybe we don't need to do that. But maybe we mix this dark red that we've got. Which is Pro Acro burnt red? Yeah. And work our way up. Oh, yeah. So yeah, so again, this is our purple. This is our burnt umber, and that's our red. So I think burnt umber here is probably gonna be our main color. At the end of the day, that's gonna be our mid-tone. I'll add a little bit of this red in just to brighten it up. And then at the end of the day, we'll get up to like this is like our highlight. That sounds like a good idea, right? Against my better judgment, I'll turn my face on so you guys can see the beautiful, beautiful face of mine. But if I pick my nose or I scratch anything, just let me know. At this point, this is just relaxing for me because I spent all day watching Texas football absolutely ruin my heart. They won, but we're really good at making things tough for no reason. I think I ruined my toddler's hearing by screaming in his ear a number of times. Suffice to say, he did not He didn't enjoy the game as much as I did. Actually, I'll be right back. I'm gonna put this on pause for a second. Gonna refresh this water. Sorry about that, we're back. Just need to refresh the water. Forgot to refresh my water between setups. It's kind of important, gotta keep that paint clean. Hey, Evan. I know, right? I'm complaining about my wet palette right now. Because my good one, quote unquote good, needs a new sponge. And it's like that weird thing where a not good one will do. So I have no real reason to buy a good one, but I want a good one. So I'm in a place very much so where I want to buy a new one. Oh, hey, let's turn the cameras on while I talk to myself. Boop. Boop. Look at that professional wet palette. Gonna make this a little bit thinner because of the way I like to layer. Big fan of 100 layers just to get me to where we're going. That's gonna be the name of the game again today. Layering up this cloak till it looks good. Till it's something Butcher Klaus can appreciate. So at this point we've kind of built in our shadow details, all this deep shadow area. We're going to try to keep that purple. So I'm really just kind of painting along the raised edges here, layering on what the color should look like, if not modified. That's basically what our midtones exist to be. Just now kind of realizing that my playlist is definitely going to play some commercials. So if you hear that, I apologize. If you notice, I'm painting from bottom up. The idea of that is wherever my brush finishes is where the highest deposit of paint is going to be. And so when we do that, if I start higher with my brush stroke, then it'll have the highest value there, which is good because that's the brighter part. Ooh, we're up to 4. Look at us. 4 viewers. I'm a goddamn celebrity. Let's go. What's up, everybody? What's everybody up to tonight? At this point, 4 is a party. Not sure how well it comes across in camera right now. Something weird with my camera basically creates like this weird hyper saturatedness. I'm not sure where it comes from. I think it might be my connector. Either way, you can kind of see the red starting to pop off, starting to create some real depth here, which to me is much more magical than using like a wash. You could do both. It's just this way you kind of control it more, and as you build, you can kind of see it start to come together. It's nice. Happy accents are nice, but when you execute something the way you want it to be executed, that's even nicer. Hopefully, yeah, Checking the volume of my voice. I tend to talk quietly at night, which I guess is good. Trying really hard to not forget to do the folds. It's easy to kind of do the raised ridges and see work there, but like if you forget to do the folds, you're not going to get a gradient. You're just going to get it going straight into shadow. So while I'm kind of getting the raised bits here, I'm really trying to focus on making sure I don't forget the little details that kind of sell the effect, which is making sure that we do enough thin layers here for it to fall off. Like this part gets real dark, and there's no reason for it to be real dark right now. Just careful not to paint over the spots that deserve to be darkened, you know. I've low-key always wanted to paint this model. Butcher's like one of my all-time favorite characters in the WarMachine lore. And when this model came out in 2019, I wanted it so badly, but I couldn't get it. Luckily, my good friend, the Ice King, if you check out his YouTube channel, he's a phenomenal painter, heard my plight. I sent this out as a Christmas gift. So now we get to paint it together. Me, you, all the good girls and boys. I feel like I'm really just kind of creating values in this triangle here that weren't really there before. So it's kind of being careful not to get rid of a lot of that. I can get lost highlighting like this for a very long time. So I'm going to try to speed it up. Yeah, that's nice. It's kind of ridiculous how much that excites me. That nice little fall off there. See where I'm being a little less worried about getting into the shadows with this red, because this kind of is the color of the cloak. I want a little bit of it in there. On future layers, we're just going to go in and only hit the tops. I get that little Santa heart back there. That's what I'm calling it. My Santa heart. It's like a Hallmark movie. guys ready for the buzzkill here? His cloak looks great. I'm loving the way this cloak is looking. Once I get it with like a little more of this burnt umber, it's gonna look even better. The real buzzkill here is I still have to do the arms. I did so many layers in this cloak. I was so excited about it, and I still gotta hit the arms. Oh yeah. What do you guys think? Any thoughts? Does it look good on camera? If you're just doing things while listening along, take a look. Let me know what you think. Forgot that this camera was on. Hey, Bubby. Alright. Do one more of these because this is kind of addicting. Just raising the light value up here at the highlight spots. Letting the shadows cast themselves. Alright, let's get to work on these shoulders. Because what's Santa Claus without his big beefy shoulders, am I right? Nothing, exactly. Not exactly the best part of this sculpt, so we're going to do some work here to make it better. Okay. Is that the inside of his pauldron? It is. Alright, so that should be red. It's going to be the hardest spot of this entire model to hit. Probably should have just left it off, but where's the fun of that? That's looking better already. How long can we go for tonight? What do you think? I think we at least get this coat done. I think that seems pretty good. Oy. Okay. Hopefully that music's vibing. I can't hear it. Let me know at home. No, Corey, focus on the arms. Remember the arms, Corey. Remember the armamo. They need definition too. I'll say this about these Pro Acro pants. They dry so matte. It's phenomenal. I hate looking at glossy paint. And the control on them is fantastic. There's a really ugly spot in there. Let's see if you can see it at home. Right there. You can see a whole spot of the cloak I never even touched. Ugh. Ugh. That's not gonna do. That won't do at all. It's literally half white still. That's a no-no. Oh. Oh, it almost looks like there's not even primer there. It's such a tough spot. spot to get. I mean, there is primer, but my paint is not sticking. Woo-wee! That's gonna suck. Alright. Kinda just want to ignore it for right now. Deal with that later. Maybe drown it in wash and hope no one ever sees it. I'll have to delete. I'll have to get all 2 viewers of this to sign an agreement that that spot does not exist. Hot damn. Well, I did a good job smothering it. You know, if that's what being a good painter is, then I'm a good painter. Smother in spots you don't want anybody to see. I mean, at the end of this, I'll probably do like a quick, light, very light oil wash, just to catch things I've missed. Help me out a little bit with like a glaze step, kinda. And that will maybe catch that mistake for me. We'll see. Right now, that looks ugly. Ugly. Hot damn. Okay, I'm gonna elect to just ignore it and come back to it later. Because I want to get to highlighting, because that's the fun part about painting. Man, Santa's never looked this good. Santa's probably never killed as many people as Butcher has, though. There's my Santa juice. Alright, so here's our burnt umber purple mixture, which is basically, I think, really burnt umber. Just got a tinge of purple to it. Create a little glaze of just burnt umber. It's not really a glaze, that's just paint. Glaze would be much thinner. See if I can get it to there. That's kind of glazy. Oh, I should have named the painting channel Glazy Sunday. It's too late? Too late to go back? Maybe. Currently just keeping it watch and paint dry with Lazy Sunday, which is fun. But Glazy Sunday might be better. Gotta put it on a t-shirt. Glazing, for those of you who aren't real painters at home, is the technique by which you thin your paint so much that it's almost water-like, creating a wildly thin layer to see through. So it just slowly tints in through a series of layers. But not like normal painting. This is like so thin that you're just basically putting like colored glass in front of your colors. If you stack enough, you get another color, right? You get that full opacity, but it takes a lot, which helps your blending. Because what's not resolution without 100 pixels, right? That's why we shoot on 8K cameras. It's not about the resolution, it's about the blending. I think I said it like 20 times on the last cast, but Just a friendly reminder, it's not a competition piece. I'm going to remind myself that. Soul. This can just be for me. It's Christmas. Gift yourself something. It's not tolerance for your mistakes, then what is it? In the words of the Grinch, cheer up, bud. It's Christmas. Oh, yeah. That cloak is sexy. Woo! If you see me constantly putting more and more water in on this, it's just because I'm kind of, as I go, when I'm highlighting like this, I like to keep thinning it like it's a glaze. It starts off like a layer, but eventually it all kind of thins out as I get higher and higher. That looks good. Oof. Some people don't like painting red. I hate the color red, but I love painting it. It just, for me, it blends nicely. Maybe my eyes can see the color red different than other people's. It's kind of slowing here, but whatever. Don't look at that shoulder. Alright. Okay. I'm going to turn my voice up just a little bit. Maybe right there. Maybe right there. Alright. Alright. Trying my darndest just to hit the raised spots. We kind of got our burnt umber down, and we've got our shadow details that look great. Now we're just kind of raising the value. At some point we might come back and do like a real glaze. And for a real glaze, the way that'll work, it's, again, super thin, but we'll, instead of doing a bunch of glazed layers, which is like the technique, we'll come back and just super thin out our midtone, which is this color, and then do like kind of like almost a wash in that glaze, like a filter over everything, so it kind of helps me blend. We'll see if we get to that step on this guy. See how like wildly thin that is? Like it's just like Kool-Aid water. That's our glaze consistency. Alright. Then we're gonna hit this color here. But it's really gonna be a mix of these two colors because that color is obnoxious. And that'll be kind of our highlight. feather this out one more time. Get it nice and glazy. Do one more layer, then we're going to go to the highlight. Now, when you're glazing, this is kind of something I had to learn. It's easy because it's so thin to create pools. And what it is not is it is not a wash, right? So when you're glazing, I use my hand because I'm absolutely without any kind of rules here. But I use my hand because I'm a barbarian. But what you want to do is take off the excess moisture, so you're not just slopping water on there. I think Siege Studios called it the difference between sloshing water out and mopping water. You're always kind of using a damp brush, but you're not throwing water down. Whoo, daddy, look at that. That is coming together nicely. It also helps that my paint dries super fast because I'm under a super hot light above my head, which is doing wonders for my male pattern baldness. What do we think? Santa be excited? Is Butcher Claus gonna be ho happy? I almost wish I used this model for my last competition piece, but again, this is not a competition piece, Corey. It's just something to make you calm and happy. But the textures. There's so many textures on this. It really shows off a lot of technique work. I'm gonna throw a little bit of wash into the shadow here. A little bit glaze, not for any other reason than to help me feather this up to where it needs to be. Because right now that spot right there is just a little, see on camera, it's a little stark. So is this spot. So I'm gonna like water this down a lot, just put like a filter over it. Yeah. You can almost kind of see what I'm doing with this, that it doesn't even really cover that heavy shadowy area. You can still see through it. So by the time it dries, you're gonna extra see through it because it's an opaque medium. tinting it all the color that we want it to be. Not painting over it. Painting over it would probably get rid of it. We're just smoothing it out a little bit. Smooth. Alright, what do we got? What do we got? What do we got? I'd take a small break just to post on the Instagram. Let me give you this one. Boop. You still see my face though. Hi, Mom. See if I put it on my personal page, maybe we'll get a few more people. Get a real party started. Post is posted. Let's move on to our next color, huh? Now we're going to smoothly transition this up, so at no point am I jumping to this insanely bright red right here. This one. Don't trust him. Way too bright. Insanely bright. There's no reason to go that fast. And I don't really think anything in his cloak is going to look that red. But if I've learned one lesson in my last competition, it's that I favor subtlety a little too much, and that when you're looking at a model from the table, contrast is king. So we're going to do some work today to make sure to pump that contrast up. That's our burnt umber. We're going to mix in insane shade of red, which is our Lethal Shadows Carmine red. Okay. Probably would have been a better idea to mix the paint so I got the color I wanted and then thin it down. But we kind of had an idea of what we were doing. We knew what this was. We had no questions. Pinky's up for the fancy boys. Okay. Ooh, we're up to 4, guys. I think we're at 4 before, but that was before this 4. Same deal. So glaze. No need to flood. I'm also going to try to make sure where before I was a little liberal about where I was putting some of these highlights. I'm going to be a little more conservative now. In my mind, the sun's kind of nailing it. The light's hitting in the center bits because his body mass is really going to do a lot of blocking. So I'm going to try to center the eye around that. Glazy Sunday. Or how I learned to highlight Santa Claus. Ooh. That is velvety. Also, that golden rule with glazing, I've forgotten to do about 8 times already. Luckily, I've got a little control, but it could have been a disaster. Nobody wants disaster. Not this late at night, not on the first day of the year. There's no way to start the year. Again, we're just doing the really raised parts here. And not all of them, just kind of like the center. So even the highlights kind of gradient off. You know? It's a little lesson for life. Even the highlights fade off a little bit. I'm really excited about this. Can't wait to show my mom. Went from 4 to 2. Quiet party. Oh, that's a velvety red. Hot dang. See, here's where I lose a little bit of, not composure, but I should just be hitting the higher sides now and not trying to blend down here on the lower side. But I always want to hit it, no matter what. It's like a compulsion for me. A little bit of over highlighting. It's like I say when I like movies. Sometimes dark things just need to be dark. Can't put light on everything. A little too low with that, but I think I'll survive it. Hello, olive tree. How are you doing today? keep jumping like that. Is it this cable maybe? You guys are gonna lose image for a second. I don't really understand why. There it is. Something's pulling on something. Clean up my cable run after this. There we go. Working on some random D&D minis. Yeah, what you got? Anything cool? I like to keep a stash of D&D minis on my desk. If you see, can't really see them because I've got that up. But the upper portion of my desk up here is just all D&D minis. Call them my palette cleanser minis, because if I paint too much army stuff, I gotta pay like one D&D mini to make myself happy again. Like one character. I like doing characters because then you just kind of get lost in it. Which is hard with troops. Cool, I'll have to look up Grimlocks. It sounds awesome. Actually, let's do it right now. Kind of want to know what a Grimlock looks like. Grimlock, 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 Grimlock. Ew. Looks like some ugly ogre trolls, huh? You think contrasty enough? Maybe we'll do one more layer of this glaze. See where it gets us. Maybe go a little bit thinner. Got to wash my hands to make sure nobody thinks I murdered someone overnight. We'll be like, man, what'd you do, kill someone? I'll be like, nah, it's worse. Painted miniatures on the internet. I like these little bumps. I don't know what you can see them, but like at the bottom where like his cloak kind of catches up. He's got these little bumps. I gotta remember to hit them every time. Add a little bit of value to them because they're raised above a lot of other things. It adds so much character that it's silly. Just those little bumps. These guys. Say no bumps. But because of the way they dip and valley, it adds a lot of depth between the shadow tones. And that's exciting. gonna switch this music up a little bit. Maybe something a little more interesting. Hopefully this one doesn't have commercials on it. We'll see how it goes. Should be starting up in 1 second. I feel like while it's important to have control over hitting just the spots you want, right? Especially when you're hitting with like a glaze, it can't be the worst to kind of like go over a little bit, because you need them all to kind of blend. Sorry, this is me thinking out loud on this one. Kind of making excuses for myself. Does music start yet? There we go. I feel like with OBS I just gotta wake it up sometimes. Hit those little Santa bumps. And I don't care how holly jolly you are, if you're wearing a red cape, there's definitely something sinister. Maybe it's just my painting. Maybe I just try to paint him like he's Dracula, but this kind of helps that it's Butcher. Man, there's nothing more satisfying than highlighting a cloak. Just don't look at his front. If you only look at his back, which is what everybody looks at. I know, I've asked around. Everyone only looks at the backs of the models. And he's gonna look fantastic. This is why I'm not considered a speed painter. We spent the last hour plus painting this cloak. Am I gonna go to bed happy that I painted the cloak? Fuck yeah, this cloak's dope. Like just the subtle blend that's going on over here. Kind of hard to see on camera, but it's coming down in dark. And is that spot supposed to be dark? I'm not even fucking sure, but not even sure. But I'm pretty stoked that it is. His little shoulders definitely suffering neglect for me, but it's not my fault. Never mind that one spot in front that I didn't touch at all. the only thing I'm really worried about is there's like this valley here that gets real dark quick, and I'll probably hit that with like a super thin glaze of this burnt umber later to kind of bring the value up and blend it. Santa has a hat. He's got a hat on there. Ugh. I could have been doing that this whole time. And I forgot to do this brown bit here. Which is fine, it's in shadow. It really only has to get up to like brown umber. But missing spots. I feel like I could probably get away with not doing brown on this one, because this is at the top of him, so the shadows shouldn't be that wild. Oh, there's so much stuff. What color is that supposed to be? Ooh. Okay. This might be like an all of January thing. It's gonna be great. We're all gonna love it. Okay. What do you think we move on to the brighter red? Okay, so that's a nice bright red there. Just a touch. Darken it down just a little bit. What I am worried about is looking at this thin down. Is it too similar to what we just did? Was what we just did a step higher than we thought it was? There's only one way to find out. Slap it on a model and regret it later. It's popping. Oh, it looks good. Oh, it looks so good. Don't look at that. Never, never look at that. But if you're behind him, he looks good. Ooh, ooh. There's a lot of things rigged above my head. I just smashed into a lot of them. Ooh. Okay. There's part of me that would just be happy with this. Move on to the next part of him. Keep going. But there's part of me that saw some of the models in the cabinet at my last competition, and they're like, nobody was great there, but the contrast that was pushed was not something I was doing. And so, for my own mental sake, we're gonna see how far we can push this. That spot there almost looks like I tore paint off of it. We're just gonna hit that. should really be focusing on the light. See how the bag kind of covers this spot. So really, like, this should be bright. And this should be bright, but not the higher spots. See if I can kind of create a shadow of that bag by highlighting around it. Sorry, it's kind of my TBR pile to be painted. It's pretty full. Yeah. Just gonna sweep those back under the rug. Let's keep building up this light volume. Again, we're trying to kind of outline what the shadow of this bag would cause. But I think I might have already done that damage by not highlighting there to begin with. So we'll see. Anyone have any thoughts? I think maybe I gotta do like one more level up. But I want to keep it red is what I'm worried about. Maybe I'll just do a little more of this. So highlights in red generally go up to red orange or red pink before hitting orange or pink, and I don't know that I want either of those, even if it's just a little bit. I don't really have a brighter red, and to brighten the red I have to put water, white in, or orange, or pink. Trying to weigh the options there and what that would look like. Because honestly, sparingly, you're never going to notice that they're orange or pink. I don't know. I do think for the sake of this stream, I'm going to have to move on from this though. Go do something else. least have to do his hat. So maybe at the end of this stream it'll look better. I mean, guys, take a fucking look at that. Excuse my language, I'm just really excited. Like, it's pretty cool. Like, is it a little dramatic of a fall off? Yeah. Maybe. But he's Santa Klaus. He's Butcher Klaus. He deserves some drama. Now what's important here is you see like this red here. The way this red falls off, I'm gonna have to make his pauldrons that are red a different red. Suffice to say, I'm pretty stoked though. Also, if you notice, I'm using a number 1 brush, which is my favorite. But it's not for any point value or anything like that. Like, you can get a sharp tip, and I can still be pretty dead on with a number 1. But I can also use all this surface value on the side to really just kind of hit raised bits better when I'm doing stuff like this. gang. One more. You're right. You're right. When you're right, you're right. Okay, pretty stoked about this all. So what I'm gonna do now is like my mid-tone generally is this color, right? This burnt or burnt red. So now we're gonna just water it down to hell. Which has kind of been all of my paints today. But shut up. Luckily, these paints are really good. This burnt umber, I believe, was Pro Acryl, and this, their ability to water down this far without absolutely losing all their pigment is pretty phenomenal. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm going to put kind of a filter of my mid-tone. Very thin layer. Try to blend this a little bit. We're not flooding it, we're mopping it. And just that kind of subtle addition of color should hypothetically be enough to blend all of our highlights and our midtones and our shadows, because they all begin to share color together, and that color is a midtone color. Very carefully and deliberately scrubbed over the top. Like, truthfully, I can already kind of see it working. But when you watch me apply it, you can see how thin it is, because it's not anywhere near opaque. Like, the deep shadows shine through already, which is a good feeling, because you'll know that they'll be there later when it dries. feel like my brain sometimes is just a depository of film quotes I didn't ask to be there, but they won't go away. When I said those highlights will be there, I thought of the movie 40-Year-Old Virgin. And there's a moment where the guy says, if I hear y'all, I'm gonna be there one more time. Y'all gonna kick your ass. He didn't sound like that. Truth be told, I got halfway through that quote and bailed out. I got nervous. But watch the movie and see that scene. Come back to me and tell me I was wrong and I did a good job. What I'm really worried about here and why I'm doing a bunch of glazes is because these shadow parts, sometimes they just fall off a little too fast. So I'm really kind of not trying to brighten them, but blend them better. Like right here. At this point, I'm not even getting into the shadow, just the edge, just the border. Like this part bothers me. This part bothers me. Give it a second of drying. I do one more super thin glaze over the top. Just to filter down that shadow. How late is it? What are we down to? 12 o'clock. Oh, there's part of me that wants to go till 1. What night owls are out right now? Want to come paint with me at 1 o'clock in the morning? Oh, this is when I thrive. Alright, get it together, Corey. Just blending those edges with my super thin, super translucent glaze. Letting the shadows be dark, but not the edges of the shadows. Those we control. Like this shadow is way too intense. There's no reason it needs to be that intense. Kind of makes it look like a noodle. Everything else looks like a cloak. That looks like a noodle. Just trying to constantly work that value up, little by little. Look at that vibrant ass cloak. Butcher Klaus is coming to town, baby. Okay. Alright, I think we're gonna have to give that a rest. I'm gonna take a quick break. Just to hit the bathroom. And then we'll get to work. Get to work at the rest of this stuff. I think we're gonna do the hat. And then maybe call it a night. Because I have all the colors out for the hat. Then next stream, which is probably next week, we'll get all the armor. There's belly armor. Or maybe we'll do something more fun. Probably armor though. That covers a lot of it. I'm just going to find a way to make the red look different. Different reds. Pretty happy with this. Alright. Be right back. I'm back. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. People have brought up the point to me that, Corey, you stream pretty late at night. Don't you think you'd have more followers if you streamed earlier in the day? And to those people I say, well, that's my family's time. Early in the day. That's why I don't stream early. I wait till they're asleep. But also, I do all my best painting late at night. This is my time. And I'm letting you all in on my time. And I love it. Welcome. Thank you for listening to me ramble tonight. I'm pretty excited about what we did together. Now, in retrospect, I started with my shadow details off, all the way down at mahogany brown. With where we got to, it's pretty dark value. I honestly don't think we have to get that dark again. So, I'm gonna start with this purple on the hat and see how it comes out. Yeah, it's pretty good. I feel like doing this hat before I call it a night is important, because if I show anyone the front of this model, they're gonna be like, what the hell did you do with all those hours? Back, it's pretty obvious, right? Boom, ka-chow. But the front, he's a little lacking. So getting this hat done kind of makes me feel mentally okay about what we accomplished. Is that his hat still? Yeah, it's his hat still. I'm also gonna work in this brown in here that we forgot. Maybe leave some of it in the recesses, but cover everything else in this purple. This purple's kind of our shadow. He's looking like sending it out, yeah? That's feeling good. Jolly good. Wow, there are a lot of missed spots in there. Good thing I'm hitting this now. I mean, I think this layer of purple is pretty much done. I'm just kind of going over it one more time. There are a lot of little crannies in there that are just white. Little white nooks and crannies are driving me nuts. Alright, let's move on. Next color. A little bit of you. A lot of bit of you. Just kind of water this down a lot so it becomes less of a layer, a bit more of a glaze like we were doing before. Just so I can lift the volumes up, lift the values up, without making it all kind of one tone. Hopefully that works out. Hopefully that helps. Oh yeah, what's up, Foxhole Games? No, this is the Butcher Klaus from the game WarMachine. Butcher's a character in WarMachine who's a sadistic murderer, so for Christmas, Privateer Press back in 2019 thought it'd be funny to make a Santa Claus variant. He's a beloved character, but he's an absolutely problematic madman. So him in a Santa Claus suit is really funny. This is usually an axe, I could show you. So that's his real version. That's the actual Butcher. And then we've got Butcher Klaus. Yeah. I've also got another variant of him up here. And you can't see, it's kind of black, but he's standing on a pile of bodies. So this guy, a Santa. Part of it's just that I'm talking quiet. Part of it's that the microphone's a little far away. I'll fix it. Thank you. There's like these little creases in his hat. I'm trying so hard to keep like shadow colored, and I keep hitting the creases with our mid-tone. It's not the worst thing in the world, but meh. Alright, time to start raising the volumes a little bit. Raising the value. So we're going to go up to this real red. Start hitting the tops of things. But true to form, I'm going to get it real thin. This top of the head is so small. Like, the little creases are so hard to pick out. The building contrast is like mega tough. It's kind of why I'm jumping colors faster. Just trying to build something. Honestly, I probably need to start being pickier about where I'm laying down the brighter tones. I think I'm getting there though. so long. I think it's about time to call it. I'm gonna say 2 more layers. 2 more of these. The roadmap on this hat, much more difficult than all the other stuff I was doing. So many small creases I'm trying to just pick out details in. There's some color depth going on in the top. It's hard to tell, but I could see different values pushing around. Probably went a little too bright, a little too quickly, but we can always fix that. Okay. That's 1 a.m. everybody. That's 1 a.m. Does he do? Does that work? I think we did some good work tonight. Mostly. It's mostly back here. A little noodly, but I dig it. And the hat looks pretty good. We'll see. That's gonna be ho all we do tonight. To Happy New Year, everybody, and thanks for paying along with me tonight. We need a better sign-off term. Christmas is over, so saying to all good night's not gonna work too well. Till next time. I think I'm gonna try to get this going every Wednesday, so if you chimed in, if you got to the end of the video, thank you, and I'll see you next Wednesday. Good night, everybody. Don't stop blazing.